Have you ever stood in the shower rinsing your hair, only to notice more and more strands collecting in the drain? Maybe you brushed your hair afterward and saw extra shedding on the comb, and thought, well, I guess that's just part of getting older. The truth is, while some hair loss can be linked to age or genetics, many seniors are unknowingly making it worse through simple shower habits. Habits that feel harmless, even comforting, could over years be silently thinning your hair strand by strand. Think about it. The shower is supposed to be a place of refreshment, a daily ritual of self-care. But what if the very routine you've trusted for decades, the hot water, the shampoo you've always used, the way you scrub or dry your hair, is quietly robbing your scalp of its natural strength? Studies show that the scalp becomes more delicate as we age. Hair follicles can become weaker, oil production slows, and hair shafts lose resilience. Combine that with harsh shower habits and suddenly what seems normal shedding can turn into accelerated thinning, breakage, and even visible hair loss. But here's the hopeful news. You can take back control. Just by making small, intentional changes in the way you shower, you can protect the hair you still have, reduce breakage, and even improve the look and feel of your hair at any age. In this video, we'll uncover the #1 worst shower habit that speeds up hair loss in older adults, and 4 other common mistakes you may be making without realizing it. More importantly, I'll share science-backed solutions and simple protective steps you can start today. These tips don't require expensive products, salon treatments, or complicated routines. Just a few mindful adjustments that can make all the difference over time. So if you've ever felt discouraged watching your hair thin, if you've wondered whether it's just fate, or if there's something you can actually do, this video is for you. Stay with me until the end, because I'll show you not only what to avoid, but also how to build a shower routine that nourishes your scalp, supports healthier hair, and helps you feel more confident every time you look in the mirror. And before we dive in, a quick reminder. If you haven't subscribed yet, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell. We share practical, senior-focused tips every week, and your support helps us continue creating content that truly makes a difference in people's lives. Alright, let's begin. The very first habit might surprise you, because it's something nearly all of us have done for years. Habit number 2 is one that almost everyone has fallen into at some point. Washing your hair too often and using shampoos that are far too harsh. For decades, TV ads and magazines told us that washing daily was the only way to stay fresh and clean. Many of us grew up believing that if your hair wasn't washed every single day, it must be dirty. But here's the thing. As we age, our scalp changes. It produces less oil than it did in our younger years, and the hair itself becomes more fragile. So what once may have been fine in your 30s or 40s can actually cause harm in your 60s, 70s, and beyond. Daily shampooing, especially with the wrong products, strips away the little natural oil that's left on the scalp. These oils are essential. They're your scalp's natural moisturizer, creating a protective layer that keeps the skin calm, the follicles healthy, and each strand more resilient. When you remove that too often, the scalp gets dry, itchy, and inflamed. And inflamed follicles are follicles that struggle to grow strong hair. To make matters worse, many shampoos on store shelves contain sulfates, detergents, synthetic fragrances, alcohols, and chemical preservatives. They make the shampoo foam up nicely and leave your hair smelling perfumed, but behind the scenes they're stripping, irritating, and dehydrating. Imagine washing a delicate silk blouse every single day in harsh detergent, scrubbing it, soaking it, wringing it out. What would happen? The fabric would wear thin, colors would fade, and threads would fray. Now imagine doing that to your hair for years. It's no wonder that strands become weaker, duller, and more prone to breaking off before they've even had the chance to grow. Research has shown that overwashing can actually worsen scalp dryness and irritation. In fact, dermatologists often recommend that older adults wash their hair just 2 to 3 times a week, or even less, depending on their hair type and lifestyle. That's because the scalp simply doesn't produce as much oil anymore, so there's less need to constantly wash it away. Let me share a story. Helen, age 67, thought she was doing the right thing by shampooing every day. Her husband once teased her about the smell of her perm, and from then on, she was determined to wash daily to keep her hair fresh. Within months, she started noticing her part line widening, her ponytail feeling thinner, and more hair swirling down the drain. She felt discouraged, thinking it was just old age. But after talking with her doctor, she was advised to cut back to washing only twice a week and to switch to a gentle, sulfate-free shampoo designed for sensitive scalps. Within a few months, Helen noticed her scalp wasn't as itchy, she saw fewer hairs in the drain, and her hair looked fuller and healthier. This story isn't unique. Many seniors make the mistake of treating their aging hair as if it were still youthful and oily, when in reality it needs a gentler approach. Here's what experts recommend. Wash only as often as your hair truly needs. For most older adults, that's 2 to 3 times per week. Choose shampoos labeled gentle, sulfate-free, or for sensitive scalp. These formulas cleanse without stripping. Avoid products with long ingredient lists full of unpronounceable chemicals, heavy perfumes, or dyes. When shampooing, concentrate on the scalp. That's where dirt and oil collect. The ends of your hair don't need vigorous scrubbing. They'll be cleaned naturally as the shampoo rinses through. And always rinse thoroughly with cool or lukewarm water. Leftover product residue is just as irritating as overwashing itself. By giving your scalp more rest days and choosing a gentler shampoo, you're not neglecting your hair. You're actually protecting it. You're preserving its natural oils, reducing inflammation, and giving follicles the best environment possible to keep growing hair. And the difference over time can be dramatic. Tip: wash just 2 to 3 times per week. Look for labels like gentle, for sensitive scalp, or sulfate-free. Avoid shampoos with sulfates, alcohol, or synthetic fragrances. Habit number 3 is one most people don't even think about: scrubbing the scalp too hard. For decades, we've been told that a good strong scrub means you're really getting clean. Some even believe that scratching with their fingernails stimulates hair growth, almost like giving the scalp a workout. But here's the truth. Your scalp is not designed to be scratched or scraped. It's delicate tissue, with tiny blood vessels and fragile hair follicles sitting just beneath the surface. When you drag your fingernails across it or scrub with force, you're not helping your hair, you're actually hurting it. Those scratches can create tiny wounds called microtears. You may not see them, but your scalp feels them. Each small injury invites irritation and even infection. The follicles, the very roots that produce your hair, can become inflamed. And inflamed follicles don't grow strong, healthy hair. In fact, over time, repeated trauma from aggressive scrubbing can weaken the follicle's hold and lead to localized thinning or bald spots. Think of it this way. Your scalp is like a garden bed. If you dig your nails into the soil every single day, tearing it up, pulling at the roots and scratching the surface, what happens? The plants struggle to thrive. The roots get disturbed. The soil dries out. Your scalp works the same way. Treat it harshly, and the garden of your hair struggles to grow. Some people even notice this without realizing the cause. They wonder why their scalp feels sore after shampooing, why it's red, or why flakes and itching seem to increase despite scrubbing harder. In reality, their own routine is aggravating the problem. Consider John, a 72-year-old who prided himself on keeping his scalp squeaky clean. He believed that really digging in with his nails kept dandruff away and helped circulation. But over time, his scalp became tender, patchy, and he noticed more shedding around his crown. Once he learned to use only his fingertips, never nails, and to massage gently in small circular motions, the soreness went away. Within a few months, he reported less itching, healthier scalp skin, and noticeably less hair fall in the shower. Here's the key. You do want to massage your scalp, but the right way. Gentle fingertip massage actually helps. It improves circulation, bringing nutrients and oxygen to your follicles. It helps loosen natural oils so they can distribute along the hair shaft. And it gives you a relaxing, soothing experience. But it should never feel like scratching. Next time you shampoo, Think of your scalp as if you were massaging the face of a loved one. Soft circular motions with the pads of your fingers, never the nails. About 1 to 2 minutes of this is plenty to stimulate blood flow without trauma. Then let the water do its job. Allow it to rinse shampoo through the length of your hair, instead of forcefully dragging or rubbing product down to the ends. This small shift can make a huge difference. By avoiding rough scrubbing, you protect your scalp's barrier, keep follicles calmer, and reduce unnecessary hair loss caused by inflammation. Over months, that protection helps your hair look and feel thicker, stronger, and more comfortable. Tip: use fingertips, not nails. Gentle circular massage supports circulation without damage. Bonus time. Let's clear up an important truth. Not all hair loss is caused by shower habits. Sometimes, no matter how perfectly you treat your scalp, your hair will still shed, and that's normal. According to dermatologists, the average person loses anywhere from 50 to 150 hairs per day. You may notice many of them in the shower or on your brush, but that doesn't mean you're going bald. Hair has a natural life cycle. It grows, rests, sheds, and renews. What you see falling out today is often hair that was already scheduled to shed weeks ago. But here's the catch. When hair loss feels sudden, patchy, or extreme, it's often linked to more than just shower mistakes. The National Council on Aging notes that genetics, what we often call male or female pattern baldness, play a powerful role as we age. If thinning runs in your family, your follicles may naturally shrink over time, producing finer hairs until growth eventually stops. Hormones are another factor. For women, changes during menopause can trigger noticeable shedding. For men, a lifetime of testosterone converting into DHT, a hormone that shrinks follicles, accelerates loss, especially on the crown and temples. Medications are also key. The AARP highlights that drugs for blood pressure, cholesterol, depression, or even blood thinners can all list hair thinning as a side effect. That doesn't mean you should stop them, but it's something to discuss with your doctor if you notice a difference. Then there are medical conditions. Autoimmune disorders like alopecia areata can cause patchy bald spots. Thyroid imbalances can thin hair across the scalp. Even uncontrolled diabetes or stress can throw hair growth cycles off balance. And don't forget nutritional deficiencies. Lacking enough iron, vitamin D, or protein can weaken your strands before they even emerge. The Cleveland Clinic emphasizes this. If you see clumps of hair, bald patches, or a rapidly widening part line, it's not something to ignore. That's the time to reach out to a dermatologist or hair specialist. They can run simple tests, check blood work, and identify whether your loss is normal shedding, a correctable deficiency, or a medical issue that needs treatment. Healthline also warns, if hair is coming out in handfuls in the shower or on your pillow, or if you notice scalp pain, scarring, or sudden changes, don't just blame shampoo. Get it checked. Sometimes catching the cause early makes the difference between temporary shedding and permanent loss. Here's the bottom line. Good shower habits are supportive measures. They can reduce unnecessary irritation, protect fragile follicles, and slow down avoidable damage. But they can't completely override genetics, hormones, or illness. Think of them like maintaining the soil of a garden. It helps the plants grow their best, but it doesn't change the type of seed planted. So take comfort in this. By practicing healthier shower routines, you're giving your hair the best chance to thrive. And if something beyond habits is happening, don't wait. Partner with your doctor, check your nutrition, and get expert advice. That combination, smart habits plus medical awareness, is the real recipe for protecting your hair and your confidence as you age. White heavy check mark normal. 50 to 150 hairs lost daily. Warning: see a doctor if sudden clumps, bald patches, widening part. Lotion bottle habits help, but genetics and health matter too. The single worst shower habit for hair health is using very hot water. It feels soothing in the moment, but it silently strips away the scalp's natural oils, weakens follicles, and leaves hair more brittle over time. When you combine that with other common mistakes, overwashing, harsh shampoos, vigorous scrubbing with your nails, poor rinsing, blasting with high heat from dryers, or pulling hair into tight styles, the damage adds up. What may seem like small daily choices can, little by little, accelerate thinning and breakage. But here's the encouraging truth. You have the power to change this. Shifting to lukewarm water, cutting back on shampoo frequency, choosing gentle, sulfate-free formulas, massaging instead of scratching, rinsing thoroughly, and letting hair air dry or using cool settings. These small protective steps make a big difference over time. Think of them as daily acts of kindness for your scalp. Imagine this. 6 months from now, you look in the mirror and notice fewer strands in the drain, more softness, and hair that feels healthier to the touch. That's the reward of consistency. Protecting your hair is not about perfection. It's about awareness and gentle habits that accumulate day after day. And beyond the physical, caring for your hair protects something deeper, your confidence. For many of us, hair is more than just strands. It's part of how we express ourselves, part of the image we see in the mirror, and part of how the world sees us. Preserving it with care is not vanity. It's self-respect, it's dignity, it's choosing to age with intention. So I want to encourage you. Don't feel discouraged if you've made these mistakes for years. It's never too late to adjust. Starting today, you can create a shower routine that supports your hair instead of stressing it. Your future self will thank you. Now, if you found these tips helpful, please do me a small favor. Give this video a thumbs up and drop a comment below with the number 2 to let me know you stayed with me until the end. I'd love to hear which habit surprised you most, or which one you'll start changing first. And don't keep this knowledge to yourself. Share this video with a friend, sibling, or parent who may be struggling with thinning hair. Sometimes one small change in daily habits can spark a huge difference in someone's confidence and well-being. Finally, make sure you subscribe and tap the bell so you never miss future videos focused on senior health, wellness, and simple but powerful changes that can help you feel better every day. We're building a community here, and I'd love for you to be a part of it. Thank you for spending this time with me. Take care of your scalp, treat your hair with patience and kindness, and it will return the favor. I'll see you in the next video. Until then, stay well, stay confident, and remember, small habits today create a healthier tomorrow. Habit number 5 is one that combines 3 everyday routines most of us never think twice about. But together, they create a perfect storm for fragile aging hair. Blow drying with high heat, rough towel rubbing, and tight hairstyles. Let's start with the blow dryer. A hot dryer feels quick and convenient, but here's what's happening behind the scenes. Your hair is made up of proteins, mostly keratin. Excessive, direct heat weakens those protein bonds and dries out the protective cuticle that shields each strand. Over time, hair becomes more brittle, breaks more easily, and loses its natural shine. Think of it like overheating a delicate fabric in the dryer. It doesn't happen overnight, but repeated stress weakens the fibers until they snap. Next, the towel. After a shower, many people instinctively rub their hair back and forth with a bath towel to get rid of moisture. But wet hair is at its most vulnerable state. Its cuticle is open, stretched, and far easier to tear. Vigorous rubbing creates friction, leading to breakage, frizz, and split ends. You might even notice little broken hairs along your sink or comb without realizing that towel friction is the hidden culprit. Finally, styling. Tight ponytails, buns, or braids may look neat, but the constant pulling places enormous stress on hair follicles. Over months and years, this tension can cause a condition called traction alopecia, where the hairline gradually thins, and bald patches appear along areas that experience the most tugging. Seniors are particularly vulnerable because follicles naturally shrink with age, making them less resilient to mechanical stress. The good news? Small changes can prevent this damage. Instead of rubbing your hair, Gently blot with a microfiber towel or even a soft cotton t-shirt. These materials absorb moisture without rough friction. If you need to blow dry, use the coolest or lowest heat setting, and always keep the dryer at least 20 centimeters, or about 8 inches away from your scalp. You'll be surprised at how much healthier your hair looks over time. And when it comes to styling, give your hair a break. Avoid tight ponytails, braids, or buns every single day. Rotate your hairstyles, wear your hair loose more often, or use soft scrunchies instead of rubber bands or harsh elastics. Not only does this reduce stress on your follicles, but it also helps maintain your hair's natural volume and texture. Remember, hair at 60, 70, or beyond deserves extra kindness. By being mindful of heat, friction, and pulling, you're not just preserving your strands, you're protecting your confidence and comfort too. Lightbulb use microfiber towels, cool settings on dryers, and soft scrunchies to protect fragile, aging hair.